I love watching people do things that I'll never get myself to do, like skydiving and playing video games at a professional level and airing my relationship drama in a public court. I recently stumbled upon the show Couples Court with the Cutlers, and by stumbled upon, I mean I was recommended their videos for the billionth time. You all know the YouTube algorithm, I don't have to explain it. So I finally caved, and boy, I don't regret a thing. It's a show where couples who suspect the other person of cheating can present their case to Dana and Keith Cutler, both of which are actual award-winning attorneys. Each episode focuses on a different couple, and I gotta say, some of these episode titles are pretty wild. Woman accuses a man of cheating, but she's sleeping with their roommate. Man dresses as a pirate at a party, and the wife thinks he's hooked another woman. Man thinks carpenter is doing a different kind of woodwork with his wife. Whoever runs this channel knows how to write clickbait. So I thought I'd do something a little different today and actually watch these videos while I record. So pull up a chair, we'll watch these together. Now, to be totally fair, some of these problems are actually serious issues, but there's a much better and healthier way to deal with these problems. Three-syllable word starts with a T. Tequila. No, I'm kidding. Therapy. Couples therapy. The first one I want to show you is something that you've probably seen clips of. An inappropriate homemade tape threatens to ruin this marriage. Then in parentheses, full episode, pipe key, couples court. Umar and LaJoy have been married for a couple of years. They've got a couple kids, and she's got some history of cheating, apparently. Lately, she's been acting a little suspicious.
And if you find out, in fact, that she is cheating, you're not going back. You're done.
Oh, I'm done.
These episodes usually start out by Dana asking what the problem is, what they suspect is going on, and what are the stakes, to get the audience kind of understanding like what's going on. Literally all of these problems are about cheating or like suspected cheating. So he moved out like 2 months before this, but he's still kind of hoping that he can save the marriage as long as she stopped cheating. That seems like a pretty low bar to me. Let's see if she can meet it. So he's brought her to court because he's at a point now where he's just like, he just wants to know one way or the other if she's cheating and if she's not.
I was coming home from work and I walked in the house and the kids run up like, "Hey, Dad, how you doing?" I'm like, "Where Mom at?" "Mom in the back with a guy." And then the other one said, "The guy named Josh."
She comes out and she's like, "Oh yeah, it was just me and my friend." But I guess he just left. This guy, Josh, just left.
Where did y'all escape? I mean, how did y'all leave that house? I swear y'all ain't walk out the front door, they hop out the window.
So, one of two things. Either this guy like booked it and she completely lied right to his face, or, and this is what I'd like to imagine, that Josh doesn't even exist. Josh is just a fake person. The kids are having like shared hallucinations and like it becomes a much bigger problem than just, oh, she was cheating. It's like, oh no, there's a gas leak in the house and now all the kids are suffering from insane hallucinations. I don't know. I think that would have been a funnier route to go with that.
Your Honor, he fabricated that story.
She's saying he fabricated the entire story? Like, how deep does this like delusion and level of distrust go?
So I grabbed the phone, so I put the password into the phone. Boom, I see that somebody inboxed her from social media, a sex tape of her.
So to my disappointment, it turns out Josh is a real person, and even more disappointing, he sent her their sex tape. So really the important thing to glean from this is the next time you send someone a sex tape, you want to do it through something that nobody's using, like AIM or Yahoo Messenger or Snapchat or something like that.
How do you know it was her in the sex tape?
She got her name on her booty.
You mean like a tattoo?
Yeah.
He also points out that he knows that it's her because she has a tattoo of her own name on her butt. And like, that's weird, right? Is it first name and last name? That's like one of the dumbest things to have in a sex tape is actual proof that it's you.
I did more from the kids than you though. Yeah, Sean,
I've seen a lot of episodes at this point, and this is the only time that I've seen them have to shut someone up this many times, or at all.
I know you're upset, I know you're passionate, but this courtroom has rules.
Yeah, this courtroom has rules, like no snacks, put your phone away, sharing is caring.
What did you do to change?
nothing.
Yes, I was planning on, you know what I'm saying, trying my hardest and putting my 100% effort.
Just to be clear, when someone asks you what you have done, you don't say, I am planning on this. Hi, I'm applying to be the CEO of YouTube. Well, what have you done in the past? What are your credentials? Oh, I don't know. I'm planning to make my own startup and just kind of see how the wind blows and really just try my hardest and work my best to make sure that YouTube is the best company. That's basically what she sounds like.
And then there's the lover story. And we have the lover here.
Let's hear it.
They brought Josh. They actually brought him in. Oh my God. Look at the panic. Look at the panic behind her eyes. Look at that. Look at that. She's afraid for her life.
Brother, you got to be quiet to get the truth.
All right.
Let us do our job.
Let us do our job that, you know, almost any unbiased third party could provide.
What is the nature of your relationship with Miss Jackson?
Oh, that's my girlfriend right there. That's me right there.
What?
This guy's a dick. Couple things going on here. One, Josh sucks. So does LaJoya. They both suck. But the absolute gall to call a married woman your girlfriend.
You talk to the judges, period. You do not talk to anybody else in the courtroom except the judges. Understood? I will take you out.
I love the security guard coming up and being like, hey, shut up, or I'm gonna point my finger at you a little bit harder. He actually says he's gonna take Josh out. I'd like to imagine to Olive Garden. He's like, I don't like the vibes I'm getting from you. We're gonna discuss it over endless bread of 6.
Mr. Charles, when was the last time that you were intimate with Miss Jackson?
This morning.
This morning. So she's defending herself. She's saying, it's over, it was a one-time thing. How does she think that she's gonna get away with any of this? I bet they carpooled here. Bye, honey, I'll see you at the trial. Hey, honey.
Miss Jackson.
That's where I've seen her. She's the girl from the meme.
Were you intimate with Mr. Charles this morning?
You see her reaction?
Quiet.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
She's just frozen there. She's just totally like, it's tragic. It's absolutely tragic that this man's life is falling apart. But, I mean, isn't this great television?
Honestly, I feel like he just brought me here to embarrass me, Your Honor.
That's how I feel about most of these cases. Most of these people just seem to be bringing their significant other to this place to embarrass them. Like, that's totally messed up. You should be able to solve these problems in a less, I don't know, public forum. So they do one of these updates at the end of every episode to let you know where they are now. And it says that he's given up on the marriage. But how great would it have been? How just insane would it have been if it was like Mr. and Mrs. Jackson have now rekindled their marriage and are now open swingers or something like that. So that was the first one. Aren't dysfunctional relationships fun? Real quick, I'd like to point out that each of these episodes are 16, 17 minutes long-ish, which means that even with, on the high end, we'll say 4 or 5 minutes of title cards, that's almost 10 minutes of advertisements. Who's watching TV anymore? Maybe this is why cable's dying. This next one is called Men Can't Get Enough of Both Sisters. Let's take a look.
Well, Your Honor, I'm here today to see if my boyfriend of 2.5 years is cheating with my sister.
So she's brought him to court because she thinks that he's having an affair with her sister. Let's see how this goes. I'm sure there's no way any of this could go wrong.
Why do you think that she thinks you've been with her sister?
She's crazy. Her and her sister
Oh,
both.
I think when you're trying to defend yourself against very reasonable allegations, calling the other person crazy is, I don't think, the direction you want to go. So she doesn't trust him because 2 weeks into their 2-year relationship, he was talking on the phone with another girl that he was hooking up with at the time. So he's acting kind of shady by going away for a couple nights at a time. And then he says that he's staying with
My mom or whoever.
That's not a great look, dude.
Now, his phone has, the fingerprint.
Right.
He sleeps, so, I'll put his fingerprint up to the phone.
So because she doesn't trust him, and to such an insane degree, she took his thumb and put his fingerprint on his phone to get into his phone. Which, if you really do distrust someone that much, then you need to talk about it and establish some semblance of trust. Clearly there's not a lot of trust going on in this relationship. I'm not here to give relationship advice, but trust is such an important thing, and she doesn't trust him and she doesn't think that he trusts her. It's just, this one's a mess. This one's an absolute mess.
And I found butt pictures, naked pictures.
How great would that have been if he just fell asleep and his phone was on one of those adult websites. And she didn't make the connection that it was just some random person who does this for a living.
Did you bring any evidence of this?
No, I did not. Of course, he's
doesn't
going
have
to.
it.
Okay, to that point, a lot of people, when they find evidence, when they find proof, take prints of it and then bring it into court as evidence, bring it into the court. Most of the time when people say they found pictures, they bring them in. Her lack of evidence is kind of surprising.
What specific proof do you have that he is sleeping with your sister?
Like, he took her to the store. The store is like 3 minutes from my house. They were gone for 2 hours, Your Honor. You can tell the tension. You can tell there's something wrong when we're all in the room together. I turn my head and they staring at each other.
So her proof that he's cheating is that they went to the store. All right, case closed. Wrap it up, boys. So basically, she has no hard evidence at all. I'm not saying that means she's 100% in the wrong, but you know, when you are gonna accuse someone of something, you should probably bring something substantial, I think.
Nothing. I was leaving out when I told her I was. I think her sister was lying to her.
He seems so bored. He doesn't seem like he wants to be here at all. He's just over it. I almost feel like this relationship's over whether the verdict comes out that he was cheating or that he wasn't cheating. Like he's done with her.
The court has tracked down Miss Matthews' sister. Ron, would you please escort Miss Matthews' sister into the court?
Let's go, Ron.
I love it when they do this. I love it when they bring in the third guest. It's my favorite time in the entire show.
One time I was at a club, in which I seen him at, dancing on a girl or with a girl. He came past and grabbed my butt. I was out there for a smoke.
Your Honor, that's a lie.
Sister says that she saw him at a club dancing on another girl, and then one time he grabbed her butt. Those are two really serious claims. But he's being so calm and stoic about this whole thing.
You've never heard this before, that he touched her on the butt?
Or about the club?
Neither one of these.
So the sister is making all these outrageous claims, and even Fanique is like, this is the first time I've heard this. So are you catching this? Something about these stories isn't quite adding up.
So I sit at the bar with my friends, have drinks.
He don't look like a dancer, I gotta be honest with you.
Ain't no way you gotta do him like that. He's getting bullied on TV, and you go ahead and insult his looks. Come on, he's having a bad day.
You had Mr. Payton meet with a certified polygraph examiner, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you all ready for the results?
They brought in a private investigator to give Dre a lie detector test, a polygraph test. But my biggest problem with the show is this. If you're not an avid fan of the show, let me explain. In just about every episode, they do a polygraph test of some kind. But polygraphs are notoriously, kind of famously, rejected as admissible evidence in court. There's a lot of factors that can contribute to a polygraph answer, going one way or the other. And I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not gonna pretend like I know more than I know about this. But if polygraph tests and things like that aren't allowed in court, in actual, real court, I don't think they should be allowed in this. I know it looks flashy. I don't know, it just takes me out of it a little bit, I'm sorry.
What did the polygraph show?
There was not a significant response to the question, which indicates there was no deception.
Even he says, it's not a significant response. Was there some response? Was there a little bit? So the lie detector goes on to show that he didn't have an affair or try to have an affair or do anything like that. That he was being a totally faithful dude.
Do you love him?
Yes, of course.
Okay, then you need to stop acting like a crazy lady and trailing him around.
I love when they find out, when the judges find out one way or another what the truth is. They just lay into the person and try and talk some sense into the person who's being totally irrational.
This is over. As soon as I get home, I'm packing my stuff. I don't ever want to talk to her again.
I mean,
it's
can
over.
You blame the guy? Can you blame him? After, I'm guessing, months of this back and forth, just being like, all right, no, all right, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm out of here. Peace. We're out. Yeah, who else is surprised that she thinks they're on a break? This is why I feel bad for some of the people that come on this show, is they're hashing out their relationship in front of all of these people on a public platform that'll probably be around forever. I don't know if there's an actual prize when you win these cases, but I mean, except for maybe you get to show everyone that you're right. And I imagine in a bad breakup, that's really reassuring to have. But what's the dream outcome in this? You drag your significant other through the mud on this show, and if you're right about it, then sure, you get out of a toxic relationship. But if you're wrong, you've made a mountain out of a molehill and you've torpedoed your relationship on TV. Actually, now that I remember, there is an episode where he's just being a little bit paranoid, and she wasn't cheating, and they go to actual couples counseling after the episode. So sometimes this show can be really good for couples, but I think that's more the exception rather than the rule. And the last one we're gonna do today is man cheating with deceased father's girlfriend. I actually tried a couple jokes for this. And if I didn't like any of them, then this is what made it in.
I have suspicions that my boyfriend is cheating still.
Still cheating. Honey, you're 51. If you think he's cheating, if he's been cheating for a long time, you need to get out. So for this episode, there's a really nice change of pace. She thinks he's cheating on her, and he says he's not.
You're saying this is all a misunderstanding. This is just completely in her head.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. That whole moment is very reminiscent of that episode of SpongeBob where like he gets rid of all of his memories and they're all like panicking, trying to remember his name.
Because he won't sleep with her. Because he's tired from being with the other woman.
All right, and so do you allow any room, Judge Cutler, for the fact that as soon as he hits the door, who you been with? You've been cheating, haven't you?
That comes back to trust and communication being such an essential part of a relationship. My girlfriend disappears for 8 to 10 hours a day, but whenever she comes home, I just kind of assume she was at work.
Well, if that's what he's being greeted with at the door, I understand it.
That's a great look. That is a great expression on Dana right there. You know, he saw the fear of God when he looked into her eyes.
How was it like in the beginning, Miss Phoenix?
In the beginning, it was wonderful.
They always ask people what their relationship was like at the beginning of their relationship, and I'd love it if they were like, it's been shitty since day one.
You know that, Mr. Cuz. I don't have to tell folk that. I still don't know how they met. She said she saw it.
Oh yeah, this is another thing that kind of bugs me about this show, is when there's commercial breaks. You know how in most shows they'll like try and catch you up on what happened before the commercials? This show doesn't do that. This show will be like, did you cheat on her? Well, Your Honor, I didn't.
This is how we met. I was going through some rough times in my life.
Okay.
Okay, and I met this woman who was his cousin. She said she had an extra room and that I could stay with her. Elijah was already staying with her. So I come home and it is awful quiet in that house.
No, nobody's there.
Oh, well, at least I thought nobody was there.
Okay.
So I goes upstairs and I'm hearing all this, I opens the door and he's the cousin.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
What? That's a backstory. Wait, she's saying this is how they met? Oh, the first time I saw him, it was so romantic. I walked in on him fucking his cousin, and immediately I fell in love. Like, what?
Or at least I thought was his cousin. I thought was his cousin, only to find out that that was one of his women.
That's an absolute bait and switch. She's like, oh, it's fucking his cousin. Oh, just kidding, it wasn't his cousin. It's his, it's another one of his women. I don't know. I feel cheated out of that. I'm not gonna call it Game of Thrones level, but I do feel a little cheated out of that. Why did she say she was living with her cousin? Why did she introduce him as her cousin? Like, wouldn't it just be such a normal thing? It's like, oh yeah, live with this guy that I'm seeing. She says she was living with him for about 5 months before she found out that they were an item. We'll say an item. And wait, and this is still how they met? So they totally glossed over the how did you meet story and immediately jumped into the how did he cheat story. All right, I'm done. You can do the rest of the show. I love the extras on this show. Just pick any one of them and they're gonna have a great face. Just kind of like puzzle piece everything going on.
She said I got the marriage certificate on my wall and everything. She know everything about this man. She said her and Elijah, prior to her calling me, a couple of days before she called me, her and Elijah had sex outside up against a tree.
So you think he's been leading a double life all this time?
Sure is.
Another family,
Sure is. Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ricks, you've been married for 30 years while you're dating Miss Phoenix.
That's a lie. I'm not married. I've never been married.
If you can't see why I love this show yet.
We got the cousin, and then we got the wife of 30 years. Now you're talking about another woman?
Another woman used to go out with his father. His father died. She says she's in love with the dad, and then she fell in love with him.
All right, so I thought this would be a little bit easier to understand with a diagram. So we have Elijah over here. We're just gonna put him right there. And we have Miss Phoenix over here, okay? You've seen the Christmas video? We're doing diagrams again. So this is the corner of either innocence or delusion. We're gonna find out. And then over here we have Elijah in the a lot going on section. dating his cousin. We're gonna call cousin. We're gonna say that. And then it's his wife, someone he's been married to for 30 years. And then his dad was dating some other girl, and now they're in love. He's 58. He's handling his midlife crisis really well.
And this other woman that he's allegedly sleeping with, been with for 8 years, his daddy's girlfriend he's sleeping with.
There's another daddy's girlfriend.
All right, I'm done. We're putting him in the toddler's chair of scumbaggery.
Mr. Shaw, you performed a polygraph examination of Mr. Ricks, is that correct?
I did, Your Honor.
Again with the polygraph, but I don't even think we're gonna need it with this guy.
Yes, I did cheat on you.
Okay, so, all right, I'm done. Bye.
So he does end up admitting that he cheated on her, and she immediately is like, all right, well, we're done. And they kick him out because he doesn't even seem to be like mentally present in the courtroom. That's the end of the episode. The update is not necessarily surprising, and that's it. I actually really do like this show, and if you like this kind of TV, this is a really good guilty pleasure show to watch. I don't know how to end videos. I never really have. Like, yeah, I guess I've got butt pictures on my computer too. That one might not make the cut.
Nope, that shouldn't make the cut.
Through social media.
At least airdrop it to me next time.
Like bro, at least airdrop it. There's not an airdrop history. Come on, dude.
Snapchat, come on, nobody even uses that anymore.
Send it through. Yeah, send it. If you're next time you send someone a the really the important thing to glean from this is the next time you send someone a sex tape, send it through AIM. Something one.
Yahoo Mail.
Send it through Yahoo Messenger. My girlfriend disappears for 8 to 10 hours a day, but whenever she comes home, I just kind of assume she was at work.
Tricked you.